All right, welcome once more to this phase of the training. We'll just start here, then after we'll move directly to data validation. Now, I was talking on something, how we can also reverse formulas. And I said in the first case here, we wanted to join the first three letters of the name column. We assume that January to September are names of people, though they are names of months. We want to join the first three letters of this name to the serial number. I said you can use this formula interchangeably like that, where you have the proper and the text. Remember, when we put proper and text, if I'm coming here, I'm writing equals to proper, like that, proper. And then the text here is what I want it to change it to. If I click here, automatically you will see serial number becomes capital S for serial and capital N for number, which means that's the proper way of writing things when it comes to proper. Now, if it is coming here and it's taking the proper and it's concatenating and attributing text, it means everything that comes within this bracket will make it uppercase. We cannot talk of 001 here being upper or lowercase. That's a number. Now, another way, you can take a concatenate first here, where you have a concatenate as a function. Text one now is the proper left. Now C3, hash C3, 3 characters, means that what? The text, it takes the first 3 characters. Let me say from here, it takes the first 3 characters in cell C3 and use the left function. From here, it will sort JAN. If you're using left $3/3, means it's sorting out the first 3 letters from here. But now proper now here comes and make now this left function from here to here. That's why you're saying it is black. It means it come and make everything within the next, this cell uppercase. Then now concatenate now does what? It will come and take this one as a text. And then the second text now is just the hyphen. That's why you're seeing there. And the third text is what is on cell D3. So it joins all of them together. That's why you have the same result. Which means if here we had the upper, like that, upper, using an upper function, the JAN there will be uppercase, like that. Here it has gone back to FEB. If I take it up, JAN becomes uppercase. Likewise, same here. If you take upper here, it will also change everything uppercase for that. So that's that for how we can use formulas interchangeably. The fact that we are having Alfred on board, I wanted to and the fact that we are also is being recorded, I wanted him to see something here. He raised a worry of having people submitting codes that the fit number is a male or female. So I was asking now to Steve that what if somebody sends a wrong data entry? Now we're having 565428892 here at this level. Now what if somebody is entering the data and has, instead of 2 here, the person enters 3? It means 1 is male, 2 is female, 3 is a mistake. How do you determine the set of numbers that they are numbers with mistake? That's what I was discussing with Steve. And I said that you use the nested if function. First here we have the mid function that takes into consideration. It comes to this section. It will go to cell G4, which is the text, the mid text. It will count from left to the right, that is left to the middle. It will count 5 places. That's how it's done. It will count 5 places and retain 1 number from the fit number. So if you count for 5 places from the fit, it becomes 5 is 1, 6 is 2, 5 is 3, 4 is 4, and then 2 is 5. So from 2, it will include itself when counting 1 places, which means it will return by 2. But if we had by 2 here, it means it will return 2, 8. And if we had like that, and if we had by 3, it will return 2, 8, 8. I mean here. So the first number is always inclusive. That's 288. So for the fact that one that you should return, but just one number, which is the fifth character, will return 1 here. Then now I told him that now to have a formula that will give you male or female or wrong entry, if somebody enters a fifth digit that is not 1 or 2, corresponding to male or female, we will need to use a nested if. And again, remember I said these things is returning one here in curly bracket because it sees it as a text. Now, if I was using 1 like that, look, and I come here and I say equals to, if this text is equals to 1, it should return male, else it should return female. Like that. That's male. So if it's 2 now, it's female. Why? Because this one is a number, not a text. Therefore, text function, since we are using a mid function here that takes into consideration by text, this one here is assumed to be a text, not a number. So for the fact that it's a text, all texts are always put in curly brackets like that, in a quotation marks. That's why I said if equals to 1, it should return male. If H4 is equals to 2, it should return female. Else, wrong entry. So if H1, the content in H1 is equals to 1, the one here, we're assuming that 1 is actually a text, it should give us male in this formula box. If the content in H4 is equals to 2, assuming 2 is also a text, because it's a mid function that returns a text, it should give female. Else, if any of these conditions are not met, it means the person must have entered either 0, 3, 4, up to 9, because we have 10 digits which starts from 0 to 9. So if the person doesn't enter this one or this one, it should give wrong entry. That's why when somebody comes like here and enters where we have 2 and enters, let's say 9, here, it will give wrong entry like that. I hope it's clear.
It is clear, Charlie, but I have a question here. This is a 9-digit number. But what if someone makes a mistake of entering a digit which is less than this, less than 9 or more than 9, but with the fifth digit being a 1 or a 2?
That's a good question.
Can we pick it?
That's a good question. That's where now data validation comes into play.
Okay.
Like, for instance, we're having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 9-digit number for the code. What if somebody enters a 10-digit or 8-digit? That's your question, right?
That's my question, Charlie.
All right. That's normally if somebody does that, if you're programming, you just highlight like that. Assuming that this is already programmed, you come to data validation, you use whole number, text length, use text length here. On the text length, you put a maximum of 9, minimum of 9. Then you come here, where you have the input message, you write maybe invalid number or entry, like that. Then you come to your message here, you say, the invalid entry is for Alex. You come to the title, invalid entry, then you come to the message, you say ensure, or you say your entry does not meet the minimum requirement, for instance. Then you say ensure you enter a number of 9 digits, no more, no less. Or 9 digits, just leave it like that. Then you press your enter key. That's it. Now, if I come here and I enter, oops, are you processing my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Yes.
We are following, Charlie.
All right, if I come here and I enter, let me say this is how many digits? This is 8 digits, right? But the fifth digit is 2, which means it is working, but it is not up to 9 digits. When I press enter, it will tell me invalid entry. Your number does not meet the minimum requirement. Ensure to enter 9 digits. I'll take the try again and think if the number I'll count, or I'll verify my data set or my entry to ensure that it's 9 digits. If I enter 10 digit now, like that, this is now 10 digits. As I press enter, you always give this message, I will never succeed until I enter 9 digits. I take off this now, it will work. Are you getting it?
Beautiful, yes, sir.
So if you move this and put 3, it will work because it falls within 9 digits, and though 9 is not 1 or 2, that's why it's giving wrong entry. But immediately you input anything less, it fails, or anything more, it fails. Just like that. Are we on the same page?
Yes, just remind me where you've gotten the conditional,
Your internet is cutting.
He's asking that you repeat the process for him so that he can see where you impact that alert message.
No,
the formula
we'll be going to that. That's a whole topic. That's the topic after this. Are you getting?
Understood.
Yeah, we'll be going to that. That's the topic after this. I don't want us to be going and coming round and round. This is a topic after this. Please just pause the recording. Let me ease myself. I'll come back. I don't want it to be lengthy. Is Steve there?
Hello, please. Hello.
Yeah, Steve, can you pause the recording? Let me ease myself. I'll be back.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now we'll be talking about how specifying a value range of values for cell, specifying a data list for values of cells, creating drop-down lists, managing teams, creating and using templates. These ones we did this part on the first class, but we'll be using that again within this domain. Now, what I just did is part of this, but I will be starting, we'll do all the sectors of data validation now when it comes to making valid ranges valid and things like that. All right, let's come here. All right, can you see this page? Can we see this page?
Yes, please. Yes.
All right. Here we have, let me just see whole number. Okay, I'm right. Okay, now data validation is normally one of the features in Excel that helps us to distinguish or determine what values are being entered into the cell and what are the behaviors. If wrong values are entered, what message should be given and things like that. So here we'll be talking about all the sectors in data validation. We have any value, we have whole numbers, decimal list, date, time, length, and custom. Now, the first thing we need to know is under default, when you have any value, it means that there is no validation rule that has been put in place, which means that cell can take any value without restriction. Now, the other value is whole number, which is the page that I am there. So for whole number is actually, you can set a whole number that appears the one that should be inputted within a cell. For instance, you are seeing we have numbers, data between not equals to, we will not do all this, but if we do just 1 or 2, you understand. And you are dealing with data entry, and maybe data should be entered between, let's say 10 to 20. If somebody enters 21, it should not be valid. It depends on what you want to do. You can decide that maybe you are working with a set of girls that are between the ages maybe 10 to 20, and if anybody is inputting an age story, above or below 20 should not work because your survey has been made to address or ask questions for people that are within a particular age range. Now, if I'm using between is the first, and I put here 10, and I come and put here 20. If you enter any data below 10, it will not work, and above 20 will not work. Let me come back there. Let me use this cell. I've already created a guide for you. This cell is 18 to 60. Watch. If I put 18 here, it takes. I put 40 here, it takes. Why? Because it's between 18 to 60. What if I put 17? It will fail. You see, it doesn't match match the data validation restriction defined for the cell. If I put 61, it gives that same error. But if I put anything between 18 to 60, it works. That's it, it's working. Why? Because what? When I came here, I came to data validation tab, the whole number is 18 to 60. If I change now this 18 to 30 here, and I put okay, at this level now, if I put 18, it will refuse because I've changed the role. And if I put 20, it will refuse. Until I put 30, it will pick, or I'll put 31 up to 60. So now I will not continue with the rest. This one is not between 3 and 9. Means that what? If you put numbers that they are not between 3 and 9, let me say if I put 2, you see it picks. If I put 10, it will pick. But if I put 3, it will not pick. See, it fails. And if I put 8, it will not pick because numbers that are not between 3 and 9 should only be the numbers that should pick. Then equals to 5 means that what? You must enter a number that is equal to 5. If I put 2, it will refuse. And I put 5, it will take. But if I put 10, it will refuse. Like that. As easy as that. Then not equals to 3 is the same rule. Greater than 3, which means if I put 2 here, it will fail. It only needs me to put numbers that are greater than 3. If I put 4, it will work. Less than 3, same. Greater than or equals to 3 means I've either put 3 or letters are what? They are more. If I put 4, it will pick. But if I put maybe 2, it will refuse. Because it's not equals to 3 is the reverse. So all of these things that we see here, from here to here, they are all things that are found on the data validation. Where you click is on data tab, data validation. These are them. These are them. Where you give the conditional here, you set here. If you give a condition here, you set here. This is less than or equals to 30. Then less than or equals to 30, greater than or equals to 30, sorry, less than 30, and so on and so forth. So that's that for if you want to set whole numbers. Is it clear?
Very clear.
It's
Very
clear,
right.
Charlie.
All right, then the next, we have decimal. Let me go to decimal. I've made your work easy in the sense that you can easily use this same sheet to practice. I always share this the same exercise 5 for day 3. This day 3, I'll only change to day 4 so that you will know the areas that will work on day 4 based on the video. Decimal now here, you are seeing decimal between 1.1 and 1.9. I don't even need to explain it anymore because if you come to there and put 1.1 or 1.0, it will refuse. Why? Because it's not between 1.1 and 1.9. But if you put 1.2, it will take. As easy as that. So this 2 is the same thing like what I explained previously. Equals to 3, not equals to 3, things like that, they are the same. Then that's found on decimal. That's the same thing we have there. Then thirdly, list. Now list is a drop down. You want to create a drop down list, you can either use a predefined list or you create a list within the source or within the source section, or use a predefined list and use the source to link it to that list. Now, for instance, if I want to create a list of sex, male, female, and then maybe and maybe others like that. Or I want to create a list for January. Just watch. the months of the year, I drag it down. I did this the first day. I end on December. Now, if I wanted to create this drop-down list to be here, it's an example. Let me just come to list. Let me copy this. Because this is list. I should be working based on. All right. If I paste it here, and I want to create a drop-down list here for name, for sex, and a drop-down list for months, I can come to my area here. I put sex, and then I come here. I put months. It's an example. Let me take off this sex. I know why I'm taking it off. You understand why I'm taking it off. These are the headers, sex and months. Let me put in a color, and then I fill it with borders. Now, I want a way that beneath here, if I click on the sex, it should give me male and female, and I click on months, it should give me months, all the months. Okay, watch that something. Let me take this down. Let me take it sideways so that you understand what I'm doing. Now, if I'm using the drop down from data validation, what do I do? I can come to month here. I'll click where I want this drop down to be affected. I'll come to data tab. I'll come to data validation. I'll come to list. Under the source, I'll click on source here. I'll click there first. I'll come and select the region that I want the list to appear. Then I click on OK. And I can select and I fix it. Remember, I thought fixing. But the issue is that it's already fixed there. $I, $12 is to $I, $23. That is, it takes between cell I13 down to I12, sorry, down to I23. That's why it's showing there. As you click your OK, now the list appears here in that order. You can choose anything you want to choose there. But now at times, what if this list is deleted? You realize that nothing works here. Maybe only January. I've not deleted January. Nothing work here at this level. It will always be failing. So most of the times, it's always good to create a list in a different sheet. We can create a list in a sheet like, let me take a new sheet. Let me come here and I say maybe my January. This can be a drop down list here. I can put drop down. List of all the things that I'll be working on can be on this drop down list. Maybe I have several drop downs and I want to use this like as a reference point. Now, if I'm having now January here, and then I'm dragging this down now like this, up to December, like that. And then I'm using, I want it to be affected on this sheet. What I do is I'll just come here, and then I click on my drop down here. I'll wipe off this source, the former source that was there. Let's assume that nothing was here. Let me take it back like that. It is just, we type sex and months, and the drop down is this way. What you need to do is you just come where the months will appear. You click on it. You go to the data tab. You come to data validation. You come to list. You click on source, and then you come and click on drop down. You select the list from here to here. So if you click on OK, the list is now working. That's it. That's the list. It's now working. Now you can decide now to hide. You can decide to hide this by right-clicking and taking hide. It is existing, but it's hidden. The list will still work. The list will still be working. It's hidden, but the list is there. It will still be working, but nobody will know where the list is, except you come to data validation, and then you click here. It will tell you that it is in a drop-down somewhere. There's a hidden this thing that is drop-down. So at that level now, you can just come within your sheet here. You click anywhere, you take on hide. Then you will see the hidden list. That's it. And you can bring it back and make your adjustments. Now, if you're dealing with a drop down that is having maybe only two, maybe male or female, things like that, what do? You just come to the sex. You don't need to go and create a list. You come to the sex like that. I'm having sex. You click on the sex. I hope you guys are getting me. Let me check. All right. You click on the sex. You come to data. You come to data validation. You take list. Then you type here male, comma, female, comma, others. As you click OK, automatically it will give you the drop down here. And you can drag down to other cells if you want, like that. It will repeat the same drop down as you're going. Are we seeing?
Yes, please.
We are
Yes.
following, Charlie.
Yeah. So you see, it's within the what I delete. It is not anywhere that you say. If you delete whatever sheet, it has nothing to do with this because it has been inputted directly on the data validation. Then now importantly, very importantly, we'll be talking on dependent and independent drop down. What do I mean by dependent and independent drop down? I just created this for fast work. We might have names of categories like food, drinks, and food and drinks. Then under food, we have rice, beans, and meals. Under drinks, we have fruit, we have orange, banana, and pineapple. And under drinks, we have Coca-Cola, Fanta, and Sprite. Now, there are situations if you just put maybe category here, assuming that this is a category, let me take it down. And people were entering data, and in this category, they had to choose. Let me say you wanted a category. Category can either be fruit, drinks, or fruit. But now, then these 9 items can be maybe what will appear here at the tail end, in the sense that you might decide to say, let me say sales. If you say sales now, I make this drop down for these 9 items, it might be very long and people might be mixing up food and drinks. Rather, you want to be able to measure how much food was sold, how much quantity of food was sold, fruit and drinks. But now, if you bring it in category, it'll be easy for you to choose. If you're choosing food, it should only bring things under food. You're choosing drinks, you only bring things under drinks, and maybe you're choosing fruit, you should only bring things under fruit. You don't want it to be mixed up. That's when we talk of dependent and independent data validation. Now, I already taught us on how to create name box like that, where you select the data like that. You come to your formula tab, and then you come to create from selection. You uncheck this and you take OK. Created automatically the 3 names called category, fruit, and food, and drinks as well. If you come in, that's it, and so on. Food, that's food, and drinks. If we're having a category and we're having item, let me put it here. Having an item now here. The item can be any of this, please. If I have category and item, let me just inputting food. You should only bring food. If I'm input fruit and so how do I go about this in data validation? I'll just need to just come here. I'll come to my data tab. I'll come to data validation. I'll come to list. Under list, I'll put the source. If I can highlight here, the list here is what? Category. You see, automatically it just comes equals to category because the name list or the name manager's category. I'll click on OK. Automatically bring me my food, drinks, or fruit like that. Now, if I come here, I wonder if I'm selecting food, it should only bring me a list of items in the food category. Let me center it. Now, how do I do it here? I'll come now when I'm done with this. When I'm done with cell, I'll come to my data tab. I'll come to data validation. Come to list. And under source now, I'll put an equal sign like that. I'll type indirect. Then I'll open my quotation, my open bracket like that, and I'll come and click here. You see, it's giving $F, $10 means that what? It cannot move from this cell. It doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Because I need to fill a list of things, maybe from here right down to cell 1000. So I want it to be moving from cell F9, F10 to F11 to F12 to F13, but it should not move from F 10 to G10. So I'll remove my dollar sign in front of 10 like that, so that it should be moving 10 to 11, but it should not move for F. When I'm done, I'll click on OK. As simple as that. If I come now here, you have rice, beans, and maize. If I click there, it will select normally. If I change this category to fruit, under here now I'll have now but orange, banana, and pineapple. If I change the categories to drink, under here I'll have now but Coca-Cola, Fanta, and Sprite. But in other words, maybe if I never did this programming, somebody might sell something in a different category, like an item that you don't even know the category. The person might feel wrongly at the end of the day because of the fact that it will give 9 items like that. And maybe somebody might mistakenly go and take fruit and put under drinks or put under food, things like that. Is it clear?
Yes, please, very clear.
All right.
Yes,
Is it interesting? Hello? Are you guys there?
Charles, we're with you. We are answering. Charles, we are with you. We can hear you.
All right. This is very important to this is very important in situations where you have, maybe you are working in a health facility, you are working in maybe an NGO, and you have different regions in your country, or different region or different divisions in a region. I don't want a situation where, okay, let me just show you an example. Okay, this is 5W. The 5W that I programmed for UNICEF. Okay, look at something. This one goes up to the third stage. Look at something. If I come here and I take Northwest, only divisions in the Northwest.
We can't see that screen. Okay, okay.
All right, sorry. Can you see now?
Yes, please, yes.
Yeah, we can see it now.
All right. Like for instance, if I said if you have Northwest, only divisions in Northwest should appear. Look at Boyo, Bui, Donga, Mantum, and things like that. If it is Southwest, Boyo, Bui should not appear here. It should bring just Fako. It goes up to layer 3. It should bring this. You see, these are the subdivisions in Fako. Then if I'm choosing something like Kupe Manunguba, it should also bring only the subdivision in Kupe Manunguba. So you see how interesting it is. There are situations where you might be coming, you want to fill subdivision, and there are 20 subdivisions, and somebody might make a mistake and choose a wrong subdivision, but every region will bring only the right divisions, and the right division will bring only their corresponding subdivisions. Now, let me show you something. Okay, for you to see something, the data, I want to show you the drop down for this, so that you see something. No, not this. I want to show you the drop down for. All right. Look at how this is. It's quite large. Let me see. You see, these are all drop down thing. Okay, this is it. All right. Look at something. These are divisions. No, this one is a little bit. Just a second. Let me open H for BF. Just a second. Can you see the screen?
Yes, please.
All right. I just want you to see something. Just a second. All right. This is what I wanted you to see. How you can create drop down is as long as just follow. Now the first, remember I said when we are creating drop downs, we always avoid not to put spaces. When you have a space, you replace it with underscore, or else the drop down will fail. Now look at it starts from origin. It's from like you have a map that's a bottom to top approach, which means the highest level is you start with the highest level of when it comes to drop down, and the highest level there is the region. It's just like in Nigeria, you talk of states. In Cameroon, you talk of regions. There are 2 regions here that I've taken, north and southwest. You might have other 8 regions. When you put the northwest and the southwest, ensure that when you are you're putting the next row, like that, you take the first one here, the northwest you bring first, you take the southwest, you bring second. If that was another one here third, it will come where you have boyo like that. It goes diagonal. You put the region, northwest, southwest. You copy northwest, you come and paste here. You copy southwest, you come and paste here. Then under northwest, these are divisions under northwest, we up to Ngokitunja. Under southwest, these are division under southwest, Fako up to Nzian. And remember when you are copying, you just use your transpose. Don't copy manually. You can just highlight like that. You copy, and then you come where you want it to appear in this order. You may paste it here. And then you come on your paste now, you use transpose. You see, appears in that order. You are saying Bui Donga Mantum because you are transposing it. Same as if you copied this, you copy like that, you came here, you come here, and then you can use paste as transpose. I'm not pasting, I'm just showing if I paste, that's how it's going to appear. So when you have pasted now, you have northwest here, southwest here, the division in northwest, division in southwest. You start with northwest division. You take again, you transpose Bui, Boyo, Bui, Donga Mantu Menchum. That's it, Boyo, Bui, Donga Mantu Menchum, up to Ngokitunja. That's it, how it goes up to this end, this Ngokitunja. Where you are done, you come and take now southwest, you paste Fako up to Nzian. That's it, Fako up to Nzian. So when you paste now, you come to villages in Boyo. You put, these are the villages or the divisions, sorry, the subdivisions, because these are region, divisions, and subdivisions. So you paste the division here for under each you paste, under each you paste, under each you paste for all. If you wanted to go to the level of region, when you are done pasting now, you copy now Boyo, below, this is the level of the region. You go where it ends, which is here. You paste here again as transpose, like that. Then now you go villages in below. You start naming the villages, just like that. Is that clear?
It is clear, Charlie, but I have a question. No, in fact, it's not a question. I didn't really get what you were saying about the underscores, their significance.
All right, watch, look at something. Let me look at something. Just watch. Let me put our names. Let me put my name here. Let's say names of what can I say? Let me just watch. Let me put my name here. Let me put, maybe I'll be mixing some of your name. Alfred, Steve is an example. Don't get me wrong. I'll just end there. Look at something. If I'm coming here and I'm putting, assuming that this is a header or an indicator that I'm trying to count or measure or an output, let me come here and assume that Monday, these are names under each indicator, like that. Then maybe these are also named under this other indicator, like this. Now, if, just watch carefully, please. If I come here and I create this and I put, let me say this is Kenga, like that. I put space, Charles, and I press enter. It refuses, invalid this thing because there's a space. Okay, now look, if I come now here and I put now I create headers. Now, if I come here, you see an underscore automatically appears under Kenga Charles. That's it. Are we seeing it?
Yeah, I see it, Charlie.
Yeah, as well as Steve, Alfred Steve Kengacha, he knows that word. This is a you are trying to create a name range. You are creating a name range. That's why it doesn't recognize spaces. Now, if you did that with spaces, when you are doing your dependent and independent drop down, it will give you a field. It will the drop down will just be flipping. It will not give you an output. That's what I mean. Okay, for instance, let's say if this one you had Monday, and maybe there was something here like Monday month, for instance. If there's a space here, and I'm copying this like that to come and paste here, as I explained in the first as transpose, here it will not read this space. It will fail. That's why if you're inputting manually, always have put an underscore between spaces like that for your drop down, else it will not work. But always try to use create from selection here. Try to use this so that it should adjust everything for you without you putting manually. Let me delete all those ones that I created. This is it. Let me delete, not to make it bulky. The other one was Steve Alfred. Let me delete. So now, if what happens now here, if I come now to the dashboard here, activity reporting, for instance, as I put Northwest, you bring only division in the Northwest. Why? Because I've used an indirect function here. Let me show you what I just taught us previously. This is indirect E10. Indirect E10. This is E10. What appears here? It will take the indirect, which means things that were under here and replace them here. As well as if I'm here, it will give me indirect F10 at this level. Look at, if I'm here, it will give me an indirect F10. That's it. Means it comes to this cell and look at the content under FACO, the subdivisions under FACO, and bring them here. And the same thing, if you come to a drop down here, you see the same thing here. The first place was what? The first place was, let me say Northwest. Watch, this is Northwest. Now come to a drop down. This is it, Northwest. What are the divisions under Northwest? Is Boyo, Bui up to Ngokutunja. If I come back here, I come to divisions for Northwest. That's it, Boyo, Bui up to Ngokutunja. That's Boyo up to Ngokutunja. That's why an indirect come and search it. Now this is Ngokutunja. You're seeing an underscore there. Subdivision now, it will go and search just where you have subdivision under Ngokutunja, which means here. Where is it? It will come and search here. This is Ngokutunja. Like that. It will come and search Babisi, Balikumbat, and Dop. These are subdivision under Ngokutunja because this is indirect. That's why when I highlight here, it brings here Ngokutunja. When I highlight here, it brings here Mumu, and so on. And I highlight here, it brings it Mezam. And if I highlight more than it will not return anything because there's a say here that is off range. So using the name, this name created from name, it automatically gives you. And when you are doing that, but the fact that you are using top rows, it takes the name of the first cell and name all of this under that name on the name range. So you see, that's why when you're coming out under Ngokutunja, it will just represent just these 3 places like that. That is named to Ngokutunja. That's why I'm using an indirect function. That point and Ngokutunja will give me things that are indirectly linked to Ngokutunja. So if I come now here, you see there were 3, and these are them: Babisi, Balikumbat, and Dop. And these are the same thing here: Babisi, Balikumbat, and Dop. So that's how data validation for. I can do it as long as you want, depending on your task or what you want to achieve. Here, this category here, we're using just category that talks of food and drinks. But you remember, for the one that I just did here, it goes right from region, division, subdivision, and village. So it depends on you. Is that clear?
Yes, that's clear.
Very
Is there
clear.
a question?
Thank you. Yeah, it's very clear.
All right, then watch again. Let me go back to the 5W. I want to show again something. Oops. All right, watch. Now let me delete. No, let me just open the first software I developed for UNICEF, the 5W. All right, look at something here. If you can see my screen, I'm having your name, your organization, your phone number, and email address. No, I'll take this last. This under custom. I'll take this last so that we'll understand a lot about it. Let me just continue from where I stopped on the data validation. That should be under custom. I want to be going chronological. So we've done already. We've ended on list. Now dates. How do we deal with dates? There are times people report activities to you and somebody might be sending an activity that is in the month of June and the person feels July, for instance. It's a mistake. Or maybe we usually have things like that. Month, day, and year. Some computers, they will take day, month, and year. For instance, we mostly face this thing, right? Where you might give somebody's data set, the person's computer is recognizing that Monday. What if you enter, let's say, 7/7/2021? How will you, here at least it's a coincidence that works, that it can be the 7th of July 2021. What now if it's 8 or 9 of 7/2021? How will you know if this 9 represents month and this 7 represents day and vice versa? Or the 9 represents day, the 7 represents month? Things like that, we always face them in our maybe in our entries. Though to sort this out, at times you can just highlight, you come under the home tab, you come where you have this, the number format, you click there, you come to custom here, you come under where you have day, month, year. If you prefer this, you take day, month, year. You see it's given here 7 July 2021. And I said last time that if you want the day to come in full, you can double the D like that. You see Wednesday. And if you want the month to come in full, you can double the M. You see July. And the year you want it in full, you can put another thing like that. And if you validate, it will give you now this in full. But it doesn't really make sense. Most of the times, what we mostly use is having the normal day like that, and maybe abbreviation of the month, and maybe the year in full. So, and okay, to give this 7 July. So now at least this one you can detect that is 7 July and 9 of July, which means you know another word, that the first date here is the day, the second year is the month, and this is the year. But in some cases, it will reverse. It will be like this. In some cases, it will be rather month, then day and year, something like that. Then if it's not in full form for you to have a day like that, to appear like Friday here now, we will not know if it is the month. In this case now, it's a problem. You see that it's reversed instead. So it's always good to know which format you are putting. Now back to business. People might be submitting reports to you on monthly basis, and you want to actually be getting track of these reports on each month. And if they submit many reports, you might not know which report was sent which date, or somebody might be filling a report of let's say April, and the person is filling bed March or May and filling the June as date. So you might restrict each month that you want just a particular date to be input. Or if somebody is supposed to take vacation, you might decide that you want a person to take vacation just within a precise date. Now I've put two dates here, 1st of January to 30th of January, which means any vacation of this date will not work. If I come here and I put 7th of June, of July, whatsoever, and I put like that, you see, it refuses. They say ensure to enter the vacation date within the month of January. Date format is month, day, year. Please, just a second. Let me put on the light. I wanted to put on the light. So you see, I've programmed the error message here for month, day, and year. But if you wanted by day, month, and year, you can always come back and change it. So you see that if you input any date of this date, it will give you an error message. But if you input 2nd of January 2021, it will work. Why? Because 2nd falls between this date and this date. Now on data validation, you click on the cell that you want to cause that restriction. You come to data, you come to data validation, you come to date. Now F1, F2, these are them, F1, F2. These are the date that I want to set. That you should not exceed. It's always good to type the date somewhere and so on. Apply these changes to other cells that have the same setting. We don't want it. Now, this is the input message. Here, the error message is that I type. I can decide to change it back to day, and then maybe month and year, like that. And I take OK. So if I input now 1/1/2000, and maybe 20, it will refuse because we program it to be 2021. I see it has adjusted as well as date, month, year. So that's that for dates. We want to adjust dates that people should enter only dates that are valid. That's what we do. Then the next is time. I will not do time, but it's the same start time and end time. You can also, don't forget that this, you can use between, greater than, less than, things like that. Anything like that, you know already what I mean by this and so on. Time is just the same like date, but now time is the one that is coming in place. Text length now is what we did at the beginning, where you ask me, what if you ask somebody a telephone number and the person inputs a lesser digit? We'll do that alongside, we'll do this alongside custom on the 5W that I was about to present. Let me open the 5W. Now, watch. I've used conditional formatting here that if it is red, it should, if it's empty, the cell should be red. Else it should, when they put data, it should be something else. Now, at times people report to us and we don't have data, in the sense that we cannot trace them. Why I program this is that I'm the one analyzing the 5W for UNICEF for the Northwest Southwest response. And most of the times, local organization as well as ING or international organization, they send me 5W for analysis, and there are errors in the 5W, and I cannot trace who sent the 5W. If I want to trace, I'll need to be downloading each from a mail. Say maybe this mail is coming from NRC, this mail is coming from UNHCR or from InterSource. I'll need to be downloading each mail and maybe trying to follow through the mail to get to the person that their 5W is not correct, which is trainers. So the best way is for me to program it that if you don't enter your information here, you cannot enter data here. That's how it is programmed now. For instance, look at, if you input just one, your name, organization, phone, and you don't put email, it will not take the data, which means that what? All these 4 cells must be inputted before you can enter your 5W record. Now look at something. If I put UNICEF here, enter. Look at what is showing on the screen. Ensure to fill your full detail section at the top left page of your organization. Now look at, if I come here and I put name here, I put, let's say, Charles. And a name, you see, I've put my name. An organization, if I put, for instance, like that. And then I come here, I put a phone number. Now, if I come here and I don't put an email address and I want to start filling my data, you tell me that I must complete it. And if I delete this, I don't have a phone number and I'm having an email address here. And if I type an email address like that, it will refuse. It wants to see the email address, which means it has to be either like that, like my email, for instance, my personal email. Now it will take, because what? It is saying that it's valid. If I come here and I put again now data here, I cannot do anything. I come anywhere and I put anything, it will not work. Why? Because this section is empty, it's red. I cannot get the contact number until I fill the contact number here. Now at that level, I can put data here. Now it will take like that. Now this number, if I fill a wrong number, means if I fill 10 digits, it will fail. Or less, I fill 8 digits, will fail. Just watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Please ensure to enter your contact number without country code, e.g. 6 not plus 2 3 7 6 . So it refuses. I can take retry and I put maybe now 10 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Enter. It refuses. But if I input exact 9 digits, it will take. You see, it takes. Are we seeing?
Yeah, we are following, Charlie. I'm interested in the email address. How did you make it to pick the email address to be valid?
All right, come now to each. If you come under email, you come under data validation here. This is it. This is the formula that is used. Its number is match. This is a wildcard character. It means it has to match the content on inside this. It has to see a wildcard at Yahoo here like that before it can take. Are you getting? So if you just have this formula, since it's a video, and this and I might be sharing some of this formula later. If you have this formula, you can use that automatically. It will pick. Wildcard means that what? Just watch. Let me come. I can use. Okay, let me open a blank sheet. Nope. Okay, just watch. Now, if I put in the hospital, let me say we want to record people that they show signs and symptoms of particular illnesses. Or let me say I want to record protection consents. Just watch. This is very important. Most of these things that I'm teaching like that, you'll be applying it when you are developing a lot of softwares. Okay, maybe you have protection consents. Let me just copy what I already did, because it might be lengthy. Oh, I protected the sheet, and it's as if I've forgotten the password. That was a simulation. I want to look for something. All right, look at something here. I want to show you something on wildcard. You also need to remind me on this to show you how to do this. All right, on wildcard, look at something. I want you to watch, look at something closely. This is a template that I developed. a software that tracks protection concern for children on case management managed by different caseworkers. Now, this is a summary sheet. Let me just fill just one, only my two. We have here my two for you to see something. Let me say the caseworker, I can say Charles, though they are using the quotes here, but I want you just to see something. The status of the child, maybe the child is an IDP, the registration date, maybe the child is registered today. I don't want to use that. I don't want to use this. The sex, maybe the child is male. The date of birth, maybe the child was born in 2016, 24th. And here, you can use normally the year frac function, as I said last time. Int here, year frac. Then K5, comma, end date today. Then I close and I close. Enter. Okay. The child is 4 years old. Remember, if I change the age, the child's age also will change. The child is 10 years now. Community, maybe my two. Protection consents, this. Other protection consents. Okay, look at what I'm trying to say. Here, protection consent, I can say the child is, let me say, sexual exploitation or rape. The child was raped. Other consent, the child might be, let me say, a kafak. Like that. Now, here you can use a text join function to consolidate the two consents, where you put equals to text join. I think this one was taught. And text join the delimiter, I just want, but it's a comma for delimiter. And then ignore empty space, comma, text one, I select this, comma, text two, I select this, and I press enter. Now you're seeing, I just want to eligible for case management. This will be done to under, we'll be doing conditional formatting. If I choose yes, it will be white. If I choose no, automatically will paint this as black, which means if the person is not eligible for case management, you don't need to register that person. Automatically, everything from there becomes black. But immediately it's white, it will be red. And when the case is closed, like a case is closed, everything here becomes red. The case is off track. You don't treat again that case. We'll do this, we'll be doing conditional formatting. Then let me put it up and back, and the case is maybe eligible for case management. All right, watch. Now, if I come, this is in my two. If I come to my summary sheet, this is it. We're having male, one male in my two. The male is an IDP. You see, automatically it comes here, which means if I'm having several IDPs here, just watch. Let me just feel like that. And maybe I have a refugee, as you're feeling here, individually from different caseworker, as they give sent to you, just copy paste, automatically it comes here. IDPs now there are 6. We have returnees, there are 3, refugees, there are 1. And if you count here, you count, that's what you see. Now, let me take off this like this. Now you're having, these are the protection concerns that we have. I was talking about YCAT. These are the protection concerns that we have. And here we had rape and sexual exploitation. This is the concern. This is what this child, maybe I've not put the child's name, but that's what the child is suffering from. The child is a child that is a case child associated with armed force and groups, that is CAFAC. So now I might decide now to come here. I already taught us how to create a name range. Let me highlight like that. This name range is called P5. Now I can decide that this name range here it should be, let's say, consolidated. Let me just say PC, consolidated protection consent. I can name it like that. Now, using the YCAT now, I might want now that within a text, what if this child had 10 protection consents and I want to track the protection consents individually? Though in data, somebody will say it's double counting, but we want to know how many children, even if there are 10 children, how many of the 10 children maybe they were raped, how many of them are associated with maybe armed force and groups, things like that. So you come, that wildcard as I was talking about, I want to track for CAFAC. Let me just do it here. If error, I already thought of if error. Now, here I'm counting. I'm using a count if statement here. So what is the range that I'm counting? Is PC my 2, but that's not what I want to count for now. I want to count the count PC, so that I should go and consolidate both the primary consents, and that is this. It should come and consolidate data for primary consent and other consents. That's what I'm using this section, because this section is simply the data here plus the data here joint. So I want generally to get that data to appear here. How do I do it? I already thought also of count if. So now the issue here is the range here. Now I'll use the const PC like that. That's the range. Now I want to count, for the fact that I'm counting CAFAC, I'll come and use const PC here, and I'll put comma, I'll put quotation mark open, I'll put my this thing, this what are they called? What histories? I'll put the histories, quotation mark histories. I'll write the CAFAC here. I'll put another histories. I'll close the quotation mark, and I'll close this const bracket here. I open it here. Then I'll close this other bracket here. When I'm done, I press enter. It's showing now 1. Are you seeing? So because there's one CAFAC here, immediately we're having CAFAC. Let me just fill this down. It is auto-filled. All of them are having now, they're taking that. If I'm having a CAFAC now here, let me take that the protection constant here is CAFAC. You see, automatically it comes there. And maybe if this child is an orphan, as another concern, you see CAFAC, orphan. If he's an orphan and maybe an IDP, we've already tracked IDP here. Maybe if the child is having HIV, and maybe the child is a child-headed household, like that. You see all of the concerns comes here. These are them, though it's a function. But now, for the fact that it appears like text, if I come now, CAFAC has gone to 1, 2, and if I had other CAFAC here, like that, you see it's consolidating. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 CAFAC. If I come to my summary sheet, that's it 4. Because the wildcard goes within a set of characters and count a particular indicator, or count a particular stuff that I want to count. If it was for child labor here, if I bring this down, this is child labor already. This is child labor. I just need to add my wildcard here, like that, to help me search for this number, this for search for child labor, and then I come here and I put const PC, like that. Then I press enter. There's nothing. But immediately I come here and I feel what is it again? Child labor. This is it. Let me copy. If I come here and I feel child labor like a protection consent here, as I paste, that's child labor automatically. If I feel, they should be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7. So if I come here, automatically 7 child labor. And then if you have a graph now that points at that, I think the graph should be below. This is it, child labor 7. So that's how wildcard is used. I was just doing this for demonstration purposes. Let me come back there where I had this. So as I was explaining, under your data validation, wildcard now here helps you to search for this @ sign. If it doesn't see at, it means that it is invalid. Are you understanding?
Charlie, can you please take me through that formula for email?
All right. The formula for email, this is it. It says its number is actually comes here to ensure that there must be number. It should match that the number there should contain a wildcard having this this sign at here, the arrobas here. Then also it should return, if you're having anything that does not have the @ that's where equations it here, it should return whatever message you give as an error message. If it doesn't, it will return a default error message. Then dollar, comma, dollar G $4 means it is G is actually referring to the content here. Else it should not take any data. 0 means it should not take any data. Just like here, if you come here where you had, if you come here where you're having this data here, the same thing, it has been programmed that it should count through here from D4 to G4. That's why you're having D $4, so that it should not move to G $4 if it contains nothing. Remember, this is open quotation mark open and quotation mark close, which means open and close means there's nothing inside. If it contains no data should be inputted here. That's why it returns 0. Means it should not take data here if there are no data here. For here through this, if I take off now this G4 and I put G3 here, it's an example. As I take OK, what happens now? Let me take off this UNICEF now, and I delete now the email here. Now there's no data there. UNICEF, I put UNICEF now here, it will take. Why is it taking? I don't know if let me check if a second, maybe I never, okay, it shows I never used the okay. This is D3 through G, that is through F3, sorry, has to be F3 here. No, F4, D4 through F, that is D4, this is where we are entering data, through F4 here. So if D4 through F4, okay. Now if I input my UNICEF now here, it's taken because what, I've not included G4. But immediately I move this now and I retype this, it will refuse. Why? Because F4 is not seeing any data. So you use the function equals to count if, you put the range, they put curly bracket open, curly bracket close, you put an equal sign and you put equals to 0, means that this one, if there's no data here, it should not take data. Now I have to reset back this to D4 through G4. So I'll need to put by my G here now. And now if I put the maybe I don't put email address now, it will not take anything because there's no email address until I put email address here. Then now at that level, it can take data like that. Are you getting?
Yes, and the color changes for the fourth column, D4 to G4.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you do that? Can you help me with it? I didn't understand it.
That is actually conditional formatting. It means that, though we are coming to it, it means if I'm deleting like that, okay, let me take an empty sheet that is not having that for you to see. Let me go back to a size file. Now we can say that protection consents. This is a table. Let me put this in a table. It has headers. All right, let's just assume that this is a table. If we say, if the cells, if you don't input cell, if you don't input data, it should give, maybe it should be red. If you input data, it should maybe be white or blue. This is a table. You just highlight the table like that. You come to your conditional formatting. You come to new role. Then you come under what we have, format only cell that contains. You choose here, you choose blanks. Then when it's blank, now you take format. Then you come to fill color, you put red. I take your OK, you take your OK. everything is red because there is no data. Let me put it like that so that you see. Immediately you input data like that, it goes to the color. Are you seeing?
Okay, thank you for the path. I just wanted the path.
All right. So that is normally that for data validation. Then we'll be looking now at how to analyze and generate, analyzing and generating report of large data set using pivot tables, creating pivot tables, editing and updating changes in pivot table using sliders, pivot, creating pivot charts and this. This is the last section that I'll do for today. I'll just go to a data set that is already having data. Now, let me use this. Here, I don't think, let me see. We might need to, I don't know how it looks here, because in this syllabus, we don't have conditional formatting on this advanced Excel. It's assumed to be intermediate. So I don't know, we might need to, I don't know how we are going to do this. It's going to be hectic. Which one do you prefer? Like working properly through conditional formatting or working with financial, with loans modeling, things like that? Because I'm saying we're having a project that we have to develop something at the end of the day. That's my personal approach. And I was thinking of it that Tuesday, we can have that on Tuesday. Tomorrow, we can finish with the rest of the things that wasn't done, especially things that we might need to do. Then Tuesday,
Charles,
we'll definitely, yeah.
Charles, do you want to run a survey? Do you want to run a survey of the sector that Alfred and Eric belongs to? For example, I'm in the health NGO sector, so financial analysis is not important to me.
All right.
Well, maybe you find out what sector they have so that we can choose.
Alfred?
I'm here, Charlie.
Which sector?
I'm in health. I'm an M&E officer in health.
All right. That means conditional formatting is a priority as well. What about Eric? Is Eric there?
Eric, if you are there, you are muted.
Why am I saying like that? Eric, if he's there, should respond. Why am I saying like that? You see all of these things like this, that you change, maybe you choose a sector. Conditional formatting is actually large, they say, and I really want, no sector, sorry. I really want us to choose which one we prioritize over the other so that we'll catch up. If everybody here is M&E or into NGO, I think this thing will not really be we'll need to prioritize, because this conditional formatting can be one class. I mean, one class. It's not part of the, but if we prioritize this, M&E, they will need this over the other. If we prioritize this, even Steve will need this to understand more about this more than the other. If we can prioritize this, then it means that we'll have to focus on this for the class of tomorrow. They will have a project. And then we'll focus this for the class of tomorrow. They will also look at things like go seek, these things like this, and so on. They will have a project, because this one like that, if there's nobody in finance department, I think it will be more of a distraction. You will not use it. Seriously. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get Eric's opinion later. Eric seems
I was wondering also when I saw it. I was wondering when I saw it, because I knew that the advert was majorly amongst MIE persons in the NGO. So probably.
Yeah, it's just that most people at times we have finance staff that register too, but it's not a problem.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely go with conditional formatting. Let's talk about analyzing and generating reports of large scale data. Okay, I want to open, let me just open a data set that was collected using COBOL. Those of you where did I store it? Right? Adolescence questionnaire. Let me just use this. I want to use raw data that's not been tempered. See this. Hello. Hello.
I'm here, Charles.
Can we all see this screen?
Yeah.
All right. Please let me just get water. Let me drink water a little bit, please. All right, I'm back. You can start back the recording.
Thank you. I never stopped actually. Thank you.
All right. Let me come back here. Now, pivot table and pivot chart are very interesting things within why analyzing data, especially when it comes to data visualization. And if we don't really know how to program or work on a pivot table or work on pivot chart, we might not know how to present our data, especially when we're working with very large data set. This is a data that has been collected using another type to analyze this, maybe using pivot table. First thing you need to do is you need to understand that pivot table has some conditions. The first thing is always try as much as possible to avoid blank cells. You can have section is not there. For an example, it doesn't work well with pivot table. Ensure that first of all, the data inputted that is being collected is complete. Then when you have that, you can come to a pivot table. You see all of them. These are the headers. And then the second thing with pivot table is that you cannot merge. If you're merging like that, it will not work. Pivot table cells. Okay, for instance, let me just take off this, merge this to this, like that. If I do this, I highlight the data. Let me say I'm highlighting just to end somewhere here, and I take it down. Something like that. If I come and insert here, and okay, you see it doesn't work because the cells have been merged. Now, let me unmerge, undo. Oops, gosh. Let me location. All right, now if I put center my pivot table, it will work anywhere within this. I come to my insert. It creates a table, but look at something.
Charlie, I think you have a bad network on your side. The screen is not moving. The screen is not moving. I think you have a bad network from your side.
Wait, the screen is not moving at all?
Now it is moving.
As I've highlighted, it's moving now.
It is moving now.
All right.
Charles, you are breaking up. You are breaking up.
Can you get? Hello? Hello?
Charles, you are breaking up.
We can hear you now, but you were breaking up. Are you there, Charles?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Okay. I think you should continue. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Can you see when highlighting like that? Can you see?
Yes, we can see it. Yes.
Click anywhere your screen, anywhere. You come where you have pivot chart on this arrow. What I'm doing is to create the chart at the same time. You click on this arrow, you pivot table and chart, and you click on OK. This is the section for chart, and this is the section for your pivot table. Your pivot table section. Now,
oh, you are breaking.
I can barely hear you, Charlie. You're breaking up totally.
You're breaking up. Do you want to check your? You want to check your connection? You are breaking up actually. And am I sure it's not because your battery is becoming low?
No.
Okay.
Let me
change your internet and let's see.
Oh, we lost Charlie there.
Email counts location. Hello?
Hello. I paused. I forgot.
Hello?
Hello. Can you please share your screen again? I paused the video at long time ago.
Then you pause the video?
I paused the video long time ago, so I've started recording again.
So when have we missed out?
I probably maybe at the beginning.
Wow.
At the beginning of the pivots.
At the beginning of the pivot table?
Yes.
All right. Let me take it again.
I think you can continue. Then we can do recap. Yeah.
Just a second. Hello?
Yeah, with you, sir.
Yeah, continue. We can hear you.
All right. Let me take it back here. I was saying that when you have a pivot table, I will be there on the recording. Now, you might be having a pivot table and a pivot chart. That's the first thing I said you need to. You have a pivot table, you click where, within the pivot table, you insert pivot table, pivot chart. You take OK. Ensure that both of them appears like that, which will normally appear. You'll be dealing now with both rows and column. You might decide that you want your data based on community, number of respondents per community. And these are the communities in location. You take location, you come to role, and you take maybe a same location values, so that you should give like that in that format. You don't want the blank to appear. You click here, you take remove blanks, you take on OK. Then you want to get the sex, number of male and female that were recorded in a particular location. You can come here, you take sex, you bring on column. Now we're having sex on column like that. And then you can remove this count location by clicking on device, like that. You can delete this, as well as you can remove the grid lines if you don't want them like that. That's okay. You can maybe title, add title, that's the title there, and you can add the data label. So this title you might give of male or number of respondents per location per sex. For instance, male and female, you have that. You can reduce it if you want. Now this male and female, and you can have other forms of this graph, as well as you can decide to switch the columns, that this location should come to sex, sex should come to location. You come to graph, you come to design, you take switch. When you switch, now you're having rather things like that, and then you have male and female, but it is not good to present it that way, because you see it's very, very choked up. So it's always good to have a nice looking graph where you have the people like that in that order. Now, I also said, if you wanted to have, we might want to bring in percentages of maybe respondents. Let me not make it choked. I can decide to have just location and the area like that. I'll bring maybe location or sex again on count, so that it should present me now but percentages and values like that. Here, I'll attribute the data label like that. I'll come now here when I'm having any of them, I'll right click, since all of them are count, you see it's the same because they are on values and on counts. I'll right click anywhere here and I'll take show value as percentage as grand total. You see that's it, 20.25%, things like that. You're seeing these are the count of sex, count that we might not, I just need that the count of maybe number of particular persons in a location. So this count of sex doesn't really make sense here. You can take it off like that. You just know normally that respondents here is per location, percentages gotten per location like that. But now you don't want this to be given in this type. You want us to have one chart. You click on it, you come to design view, you come to change type, you come to combo, that's it. You see how it's giving, but we cannot use this trend graph, because trend graph is used to measure. You can be measuring, let me say, COVID-19 outbreak, number of deaths of COVID-19 within a period of time, let's say January, February, or measure sales of maybe product within time. That's when you use trend graph. But the fact that it's population, you cannot be taking population for different communities and you are using a trend graph. For that level now, you normally need to use this. And then when you are done having both of them, just like what we have out here, you might need now to come and click here to attribute on one graph. You see everything that is on one graph. The clusters are all on one graph, giving the amount reached and the percentage. When you're done, you click on that. Oops, it has froze. My Excel has crashed.
Oh, we can see. So you need to restart again, right? Would you have saved?
No.
Wow.
If it doesn't recover, then I think we'll postpone it to tomorrow so that we'll start earlier tomorrow.
Okay.
Is it fine by you? So that we'll just the pivot table tomorrow.
All right. We'll start with pivot table tomorrow, right?
Really tired and I'm not at home.
Okay. All right. No.
And then I had to go somewhere to connect my laptop and work.
Okay.
Yeah. I have to be rushing home. I was thinking that it been done, but with all this on and off, it's taking us more time and making it tiring.
Okay.
So I think we'll continue, we'll come back to pivot table tomorrow and then work on pivot table and then work on conditional formatting.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, that said, good night to you, or good night to you, Alfred. Good night to you, Steve. I guess Eric and Hassan, they will follow the video.
Yeah.
From there.
And Fabs and preschool.
Yeah. On
Fabs
Tuesday,
and preschool. Yeah. All right.
Another nice time where we'll be working on a project. All of us really, which, but remember everything from now, the discussion from now henceforth will be done in our private group.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's noted.
So definitely, Peter normally knows the training has ended today because I know that he will be expecting some other people to be joining another training starting tomorrow.
Okay.
That's why I was like insisting.
All right. Okay, great. So the next time I share the link, it will be in our private group and it's a private arrangement. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, gentlemen.